This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. Well, there has certainly been some very interesting things that's happened the past couple of days. And I want to be clear about one thing. I kind of knew that at some point there was going to be some kind of divide between President Trump and Elon Musk. At some point, whether it was immigration or whatever, these two were going to butt heads. But I thought, okay, that was going to be behind the scenes, that's going to be out of public view, no one's going to care about it. Yeah, there's going to be some drama here and there, maybe some disagreements, but outside of that, no one thought that it would get bad. Well, I think it's fair to say that that take has aged horribly, and in fact, the last 36 hours might be the most chaotic period of this administration. Now, before we continue with today's video, guys, I need you to like and share this video right now. This is the best way to support the content. It helps the video out with the algorithm, so like and share the video right now. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe right now. Another great way to support the content. But enough of the promotional stuff. We have to talk about what happened in the last 36 hours because holy crap. This situation is absolutely crazy, and not a single person saw this coming. Now, to be fair, like I said, some people, including myself, thought, okay, there was going to be a dispute, especially over the big, beautiful bill. That there was going to be some kind of drama there, but I thought, okay, worst case scenario, Elon Musk says something on Twitter, but it doesn't escalate. After that, they talk behind the scenes and call it a day. That's what I thought was going to happen. And most people thought, okay, he might call out some people in the House and the Senate, but that's that. Well, he didn't. And in fact, yesterday was a nuclear explosion. As early in the day, Elon Musk was taking some pot shots at Republicans. Not just Trump, but Mike Johnson, John Thune, basically every single Republican in the House and the Senate. He was taking pot shots, and then he started to say some stuff about Trump, and Trump did respond. And if I'm being honest, Trump's response was tamed for his standards. I mean, seriously. He said he's disappointed. Which, for Trump's standards, that's actually kind of lame. In fact, you could argue that's respectful. For him to say he's disappointed, that's nothing. He could have said a lot worse things. But for whatever reason, Elon Musk decided to attack Trump even more. He decided to ramp up his attacks on Trump, and at some point, President Trump decided to respond to him on social media, on Truth Social, and he basically said that Elon Musk was wearing thin, and he asked him to leave. That's basically all he said, and yeah, they talked about the electric vehicle mandate, which we'll get to in a second. But again, for Trump's standards, this is nothing. This is nothing. But a little while later, Elon Musk dropped this bombshell. He claims that President Trump is in the Epstein files, and that is the real reason they have not been made public. Yeah, he posted this, and I think everyone saw this by now, but for those that haven't, for whatever reason, yeah, this is real. He actually claimed, oh yeah, by the way, President Trump, he's actually in the Epstein files. Huh? That's your response to what is, for Trump standards, is not an attack. I mean, that was tamed what Trump said, and you decided to say, oh yeah, by the way, President Trump is in the Epstein files, which, it's crazy. Over a spending bill. Over tax cuts. That's why Elon Musk decided to report this. And people began to think more about it and look more into it, and they realized two things. For starters, Elon Musk is full of crap. I'm not going to detail the whole saga. Everyone can look into it. This idea that Trump was involved in it, guys, it's not true. Just go on Twitter. A bunch of people talked about it. Now, is it true that he was friends with Epstein for a little bit? Yeah. But that doesn't mean he was actually involved. In fact, the more you look into it, it's apparent that he wasn't. So that's the first thing. Elon Musk was trying to claim indirectly that, oh yeah, President Trump was involved when he said this. Because why else would he say it? When people think of the Epstein files, they think, oh, they're involved. That's why he said it. But ignoring that, I mean, just look into it, it's BS. Guys, Elon Musk trusted his youngest son, at least his youngest legitimate son, to be with Trump. There are plenty of pictures and videos of Trump with his youngest son. So you're telling me that you knew about this. Okay, you knew about this, that he was involved in stuff, and you trusted him around your son? And on top of that, people began to question him. It's like, wait, if you got your way with the spending bill, would that mean you would have covered this up? You see the problem here? No matter what Musk does, he screwed himself. Because now, he burnt any remaining bridge with Trump by doing this. Because now, if he's wrong and he lied about this, Trump's going to sue the shit out of him, more than likely. And his credibility would go away completely. And if he's telling the truth here, which he isn't, guess what? That means he knew about this for God knows how long, and he covered it up. He knew about it, and he would have said nothing about it. But then at the last second, when it became apparent that his proposals for the big, beautiful bill, which we'll get to in a second, they weren't going to happen. They weren't in the bill. That's when he decided to leak this crap. Really? That's your plan. It makes Musk look insane. It makes him look awful. Because if he's covering this up, and we know he's lying, how can anyone trust him? You see the problem here? It was crazy. And he just kept going and going, and it kept going on for hours. It's like, dude, somebody take away his phone. Because he's making the situation even worse. But then late last night, he's just said, you know, maybe we gotta make a peace deal with Trump and all that stuff. And Trump this morning said, no, go F yourself. I'm not gonna talk to you. Which, good on Trump. This is insane. For Elon Musk to allege this crap over the big, beautiful bill is insane. I mean, think about that. He is trying to, you know, make Trump seem like he's involved in the Epstein stuff over a tax cut, over a spending bill. Really? That's your plan? Gee, I wonder why the Trump administration had enough of your shit. They said, you're done. They must have saw this coming a long time ago, because what the hell? This is insane. It's crazy. And the worst part is, like I was saying, it's over a tax cut. It's over a spending bill. And that's the problem with all of this. They are dying on this hill for what might be the dumbest reason I've ever seen. Listen, I'm not denying the fact that the big, beautiful bill, it's not perfect. I understand that. In fact, I want more cuts. I'm not denying that. But for starters, people gotta understand this is the process. There's only so much we can cut in this one bill. Thomas Massie and Rand Paul, they never tell you that. They just say, put it in one bill or separate it. You can't. Because if you do that, guess what? You're going to have to get 60 votes in the Senate to pass it. And you're never getting that. So the only way to get any kind of cuts through whatsoever is through this process. Which, by the way, this bill does cut spending. They're lying about that. This bill does cut spending. I think it's like 1.7 trillion or whatever. So yeah, it does a good job in cutting spending. But it's not enough for them. Which again, this is just one bill. This is just one part of the spending cuts. This is for Medicaid. This is reform for Medicaid and stuff. They're mad about it because it's not including a $6 trillion cut or some crap like that. But either way, people begin to ask them, actually for many weeks now, what they actually want. And Thomas Massie finally proposed something. It's still not detailed. I mean, they keep just saying cut spending. But okay, they finally proposed, when I say they, it's Elon Musk, Rand Paul, and Thomas Massie. When they say something, more than likely, all three of them agree on the same stuff. Well, Thomas Massie's plan is extend the tax cuts, which this bill already does. I can't get over this. It already extends the tax cuts. And the Green New Deal cold turkey. Guess what? That's already in the bill. No bloat for the military-industrial complex, which I agree with. You know, in a perfect world, we shouldn't need to increase spending on the Defense Department that much. But a chunk of that is for increases in salaries. And to be honest, you're not going to be able to pass this bill unless you have an increase in defense spending. So That was a deal breaker. Same thing, no SALT. Again, a perfect world, we would get rid of SALT. But guess what? There's like 6 Republicans in the House that can kill the bill at any point if they don't get SALT. So Thomas Massie, he's purposely including stuff that he knows can't pass. No pork. What pork? When he says stuff like that, be specific. Not just say, get rid of the pork. Okay, show me an example. Realistic border funding. And this is where people began to realize, oh, these three, they're not doing this for actual cuts. They're doing this over border funding, as they are attacking the bill the most over border funding. Yeah, they're mad at the one part of the bill that does increase spending, but for something good. Border security, mass deportations. That's what they're mad about. Elon Musk, Thomas Massie, Rand Paul, they're trying to kill this bill because we're spending money on border security. Really? You're telling me that one of the biggest promises that Trump had in 2024, a big reason why he won, your plan is to completely ignore it? Realistic border funding. When they say stuff like that, that means nothing. No border funding whatsoever. You can't have $1 for the wall. They're full of crap. Serious Medicaid reform. We already got that. So I have no clue what he's talking about. They're complaining about nothing. But the more you look at it, you realize that the main stuff they're pushing for that's not in the bill can never pass. You have to have SALT. I know it sucks, but we don't have a 50-seat majority. We have to have SALT in the bill, or Michael Lawler and them, they're going to vote against this. Same thing with the military-industrial complex stuff. I want to get rid of that, sure, but we have to agree to it. But there's stuff like realistic border funding. That means they don't want $1 spent on this crap. Nothing. And the last thing, $1 spending cuts for $1 new tariffs, and tax cuts, I should say, which Stephen Miller has explained this plenty enough. There are spending decreases in the bill right now, big cuts, and the quote-unquote tax cuts, the cut in revenue, that's assuming there's no economic growth, that doesn't account for the tariffs, so basically their own estimates are bullshit. But even then, when they say stuff like this, that means they want to get rid of the no taxes on tips. No taxes and overtime. You think I'm kidding? A couple days ago, Thomas Massie was attacking no tax on tips. Oh, we got to get rid of it. Oh, Trump is not serious about it. It's only for 3 years instead of 10 years. Wait, why are you bashing no tax on tips? It's as if that's what these people really want. They don't want to cut taxes, which is insane. These people are supposedly libertarian, but they don't want to cut taxes. And at the same time, they want to gut border funding, which is the only part of the bill that has any kind of significant increase. Yes, defense stuff's included, but guys, the defense stuff has to go up for this bill to pass. And the other stuff is already in the bill. So you're telling me that you decided to blow up your relationship with President Trump over this? Over border funding? Over what? What's the point of doing this? You're going to gain nothing. This strategy was stupid. At the start, it was dumb. Now it's even more insane. Now they're actually saying what they want. So yeah, these 3 idiots, especially Musk, they backstabbed Trump over border security. They don't want the southern border secured. Even though that's like the number one reason why Trump won in 2024. Like one of the biggest reasons. Because the southern border. They want the American people wanted the southern border to be secured. And these idiots would rather get rid of that. Instead of, I don't know, pushing for more rescission packages. Remember that? The rescission package is coming next week, or in fact, it came already. So that's another $10 billion there, which I know that's not a lot of money, but it sounds like there's going to be a bunch of these rescission packages that's going to cut like $10 billion here, $10 billion there. It adds up, but they're not talking about that. It's very sad because Elon Musk, if he would have kept his mouth shut, there were no problems here. They could have just talked behind the scenes work out a deal, and be done with it. But no, he had to go on this random tangent that killed any chance of him getting back in the White House. I don't see how Trump respects him or, trusts him ever again. How can you? But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.